Hello and welcome back to my channel Lady T. My name is Natalie and we are going to continue with Professor Layton and the Curious Village. Our story so far. Layton and Luke narrowly escape being crushed by a runaway Ferris wheel while searching the park. The Ferris wheel destroys an old shack on the shore, revealing a secret subterranean path. After finding a tower-shaped key in the underground room, Layton and Luke make their way to the village. With the key in hand, Layton debates heading to the tower. However, after sensing a sinister presence near them, the professor devises a plan to out the fiend. And here we are. I'm quickly going to check what are the charms we have already. I'm simply shocked at this turn of events. Who could have guessed that we had an impostor in our midst? He had me completely fooled. But you saw right through him, Professor. I must say I'm quite impressed with your cunning. I ask you now to put that brilliant mind of yours to work again and set out in search of the golden apple. It would be my pleasure, madam. By the way, are you feeling alright? You look a bit pale. I awoke this morning with memories of a peculiar dream I must have had last night. In it, my husband and I had just had a brand new baby girl, and oh, how everyone fawned over her. The next moment, suddenly, I was in a park, walking hand in hand with my young daughter. With your daughter, you say? Now, why would I have a silly dream like that? These past few days have really been quite draining. Professor Layton, I don't feel particularly well at the moment. I think I'll go and lie down for a bit. You're about to be abducted. What's wrong with Lady Dahlia? She had a dream of walking in the park with her young daughter. There's something quite curious about that dream. Well, it is a curious village. So, we're going towards the tower. There is a puzzle that we can't skip on. Well, there are lots of puzzles that we can't skip on. Poor cat and mouse, still going at it. Hey Professor, I've been waiting for someone like you. Listen, I've got something very interesting to tell you if you solve this puzzle here. We're going to try our best. A sweet treat. You go to the shop to buy some almond chocolate to share with 3 friends. However, upon unwrapping the chocolate, you find that only 4 of the 16 chocolate squares actually have an almond in them. How can you cut the chocolate up into 4 pieces to share, each with the same shape but containing an almond in a different location? That's a good question. And all of them need to be... Like, the trouble is with these 2 over here. So let's start with the solution there. What if... No, you can't do that. But perhaps we can make them L shape, because I was first going to say, what about if you do this? But then you already run into trouble with the second one. But what if we make an L? Then you would work. And how would we go about the second one? I don't... Can you do that? Yeah, you can. Yeah. No, not that one. Then we did this. Right?
That should do it. Critical thinking is the key to success.
Nicely done. Now make sure you share with everyone. Oh, I see now. Heck, is that really all I needed to do to solve it? Oh yeah, I promised to tell you something, didn't I? Well, listen here. The greatest culinary delight in all of Saint-Mystère is croutons ginger pudding. It's delish. Ironically, the worst thing you could ever put in your mouth is also a dish of croutons. Honestly, you could choke a donkey with those scones. Yuck. To Layton. superb, a man could get used to living in a place like this. A pile of books. The bookcase. There we go. Now this is a room any gentleman would be proud to call his own. Staying here should speed up the investigation. By the way, look, I have a present for you to mark this occasion. Return to the title screen, select bonuses, and you should have a new challenge for me. Now I know you're excited, but be sure to save before returning to the title screen. Layton's challenges. The decorator's house has been added to your map. Cool! And look, now you have all these free pictures. It's so cute. Let's show a little bit of an extra something. Then we can decorate or put that in an episode 2 with all the special things we can do. Hey, the beauty.
Yeah. I've got a new puzzle for you, dearie. I bet you're just dying to see it, aren't you?
I'm sorry, madam, but right now we're in a terrible rush.
Nah. You can't fool this old girl. I've seen you struggling around solving other people's puzzles. And now it's my turn.
Seen us? What do you mean? Have you been following us? I think she's obsessed. Rolling a 3. When you roll a die, the chances of rolling a 3 are 1 in 6. The chances of rolling a 3 twice in a row are 1 in 36. And the chances of rolling a 3 times in a row are jaw-dropping 1 in 216. Let's assume you roll a die 3 times and get a 3 each time. Your chances of rolling a 3 on your next roll are 1 in how many? I've never understood this.
Luke, here's my answer. Every puzzle has an answer.
I'm fine with that actually. Terrific! It doesn't matter how many times you roll the same number, if you are only asking about the probability of rolling a 3 in one turn, the chances will always be 1 in 6.
Yeah, you're going to the tower, are you, dearie? How about I show you the way?
Oh, I was under the impression that the villagers of St. Myster hated going near the tower.
Nah. Oh yes, I don't want to go anywhere near the place myself. Though I suppose I could make an exception for strapping men such as yourself, oh yes.
Professor, we should really keep moving. Yeah, we can do it on our own, thank you, lady. It's a dead end, no two ways about it. Maybe there's another path to the tower hidden around here. I'd argue that we've come to exactly the right spot, look. What do you mean by that? Look, right here, look. There's a small indentation in the wall where one could place a small object. Oh, so this must be... Yes, this curious indentation is no doubt the spot indicated in Baron Reinald's note to Archibald. I'm willing to wager that if you put this in there and gave it a turn... This could have been a cool cutscene. Ta-ta-ta. Whoa, and that's the sound that everybody hears. Just as I suspected. Alright, look, in we go. In we go indeed. Chapter 9, the Tower Secret. A path to the tower has been found. Scale the tower and solve all the mysteries of St. Myster. No pressure. Yes, we want to save for progress. Things are about to get down. Using the key we found beneath the waterside shack in the note in Archibald's desk, we have managed to open a path to the tower. I am relieved that we have finally made true progress in our investigation, but this is no time to revel. What mysteries await inside? But you did have the time to write it all down. Some charms. Well, it looks like you've solved at least 75 puzzles. Alright then, go on into the tower. This is why we're solving puzzles. For progress. This place gives me goosebumps. Plus, it's all murky in here, and I can't see a thing. Oh my. Ah! Well, we made it. Ah, my head. Look, are you alright, my boy? No injuries, I hope? Don't worry, Professor. I'm fine. And yourself? Nothing a good long bath later won't solve. But more importantly, where are we? That's a good question. That's the same sign, right? This room is full of curious machines. I've never seen anything like them. What do you suppose they do? What in the world? Look over there on the wall, Professor. My word. There are pictures of the villagers displayed here. Oh, his key is missing. And what's this? There's a key for almost every villager. Professor, what if somebody is using this place to keep an eye on what's going on in St. Mystere? Look, there are stairs over there. Let's get out of here. This place gives me the shivers. Yes, you're quite right, look. Let's head out. He isn't as freaked out as he probably should be. There we go. Oh, what's this notebook? Did you find something interesting? I think so. This notebook looks like someone's been using it as a diary. Just a little longer now. Soon this village will achieve the purpose it was designed for. I've waited so long for this day, but as it comes closer, I feel a little lonely. I hope that at the very least, the young mistress finally finds happiness at the end of all this. This poor diary looks like it's been through a lot. All the pages are terribly frayed. I bet all the scraps of paper we found in the village came from here. That's a good... It looks like there are... Like over here. Like there are... robots. Haha. What's this? You! You two again. What are you doing here? What are you up to? Just a moment, sir. What are you talking about? I knew it. You came here to steal my secrets, didn't you? Didn't you? Don't play dumb with me. I see right through you. Don't think I haven't been watching. I've seen you two sniffing around every nook and cranny in the village, obstructing my work. Now I've had it, so unless you want trouble, give me back number 38. Please calm yourself, sir. Just listen to what we have to say for a moment. We haven't intended to get in the way of your work. We are merely searching for the golden apple. Neither of us knows anything about this number 38 business. Oh! Did you just say the golden apple? You're really here looking for the golden apple then? Precisely. Do you know anything that could be of help to us? So that's how it is, eh? What you're looking for is on the top floor of the tower. But watch out, cause the puzzles in this tower are harder than a diamond-tipped drill. I know they call you a puzzle master, but are you sure you have what it takes to solve them? Now, why would you go and tell us something like that? I bet you just want to set us up to walk right into some sort of trap. What would I possibly gain from doing something like that? Not to mention, it's my duty to guide those who seek the golden apple towards their goal. Some mischief maker sneaked into the village and had me all confused, but I think I've worked things out now. Seeing as how it's your duty and all that, would you mind filling us in? What is St. Mystere's big secret? Alright. The name is Bruno. I work for the Reynolds family. For some time now, I've managed St. Mystere from up here in the tower, because we don't talk about Bruno. Manage St. Mystere? You're the one who manages the life of each of the villagers, aren't you? What in the world are you two talking about? Surely you must have seen them too, Luke. Do you recall the cocks we found about the village and the keys we just saw? All the villagers in St. Mystere are robots created by Bruno. What do you mean? The villagers are all robots? Yes, Luke. In other words, the inhabitants of St. Mystere aren't human, but intricately constructed machines. They're robots, my boy. I have to say, I'm astonished that anyone could build such elaborate machines in this day and age. You must be quite the engineer, sir. Ho ho, aren't you a sharp one? I never imagined you'd work out so much of the mystery by yourself. What do you mean, sir? St. Mystere isn't a real village, Luke. It was constructed by Bruno and the late Baron. How am I doing so far, Bruno? You're absolutely correct. Master believed that one day an heir worthy of his fortune would come forward. He had me build this village and all would dwell within it to prepare for that day. Then he hid his greatest treasure, the golden apple, away on the top floor of this, so it's going to be Flora. I was ordered to protect it with my life. Until the person arrives who can solve the puzzle of the golden apple, I will continue to protect it. Remarkable. I'm impressed how far Baron Reinhold went to protect his treasure. It's not just any treasure, mind you. The golden apple was the Baron's most precious treasure. But why go through all this just to hide treasure? Why build an entire village to protect it? Oh, whoops. Seems I've been a little loose-lipped here. I've already said more than I should have. The answers you're looking for are waiting for you at the top of the tower. Go on then, show me if you're the one who can solve the puzzle of the golden apple. Or Don Paolo just plunges right through it. There's a puzzle waiting. The smart clocks recovered by Layton and Luke came loose from Simon and Ramon when they collapsed. The clocks, along with the mysterious disappearances he observed around the village, convinced Layton that all the villagers in St. Mystere were robots. The abductions around the village were actually the work of Bruno, who moved under the cover of night to retrieve his broken robots. Bruno would bring robots back to the tower to repair them and then return them to the village. As none of the villagers knew they were actually robots, it's only natural that they were terrified by the strange old man. The only actual person. Well, not the only one, but... Professor, look, the stairs are barred off. Aha, this must be one of the puzzles Bruno warned us about. It does look quite difficult. Well, my boy, are you ready for a challenge? Prove yourself, Luke. Do it now. This perplexing door has a device on it that contains a small red ball in the upper left corner. If you guide the ball to the hole in the lower right, it looks like the door might open. Slide blocks out of the way and move the ball to the hole. The shortest possible route has 21 moves. But again, no pressure.
There we go. Every puzzle has an answer.
There we go. Well done. Were you able to get the ball to the hole without shuffling back and forth too much? If you had to move the ball lots of times to reach the goal, don't worry. Working out how to get to the goal in the fewest moves possible is an interesting puzzle in itself. There we are. Come on, Luke. We must press on. Alright, lead the way, Professor. Say, Professor, there's something that's been on my mind for a while. Oh, what is it, Luke? When the crank for the bridge was stolen, we were sealed in the village along with Don Paolo. It could be just me, but I feel like this wasn't just a coincidence. Somebody planned it, but who? Haha, well look, I don't have any direct evidence of it, but I'd wager that it was Bruno's doing. Bruno? But why in the world would Bruno do something like that? Do you remember what he said? It's his duty to show the way to those who seek the golden apple. But naturally, Bruno had no idea what kind of people would come to St. Mystere seeking that treasure. It's likely he trapped us in the village to buy himself some time to evaluate who we were. He wanted to see if we were worthy of the secret. That's terribly presumptuous of him, don't you think? How could he think either of us were bad people? He doesn't even know us. No, that's why he had to find out, Luke. Haha, who knows how Bruno saw it, Luke? I'm certain he was just being careful. After all, Don Paolo managed to sneak in with us. Bruno probably had his hands full and needed time to see what kind of people had entered the village. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to ask about that too. Look, we really should get started here. You can ask me your next question while we climb. Then we know the crank was because of him. Another mystery solved. Bruno, the caretaker to all of Saint Mystère, was the one who stole the crank for the bridge. His intent was to prevent Layton and Luke from leaving the village, so they would seek out the golden apple and fulfill the late Baron Reinald's last wish. An elaborate plan. Very elaborate for what needed to happen here. Ah, not another locked door. Whoever built this tower must enjoy watching people suffer. Well, my boy, are you just going to stand there and complain about it? No! Leave this puzzle to me. Of course you're going to do it. You need to solve this magic square in order to proceed. A magic square is a set of numbers organized in a square so that adding any string of 3 numbers, be they horizontal, vertical or diagonal, results in the same total. 1 and 2 have already been placed on the square for you. Complete the rest of the square to open the lock. Okay. Let's just start moving things around. After trying a few things, I think that this is the right answer.
Here's my guess. Layton's apprentice saves the day.
Excellent! Any 3 numbers aligned horizontally, vertically or diagonally should add up to 15. Magic squares have been around for thousands of years. The earliest record of one dates back to 650 BC in ancient China. That's so cool. I got it! The door's open now. Good show, Luke. So what was it you were asking me earlier? I'm all ears now. I wanted to know when Don Paolo snuck his way into the village. It seems like he followed us here. The only way into Saint Mystère is over the drawbridge. Plus, I doubt Franco would let in such an obviously evil character as Don Paolo. Yes, to be honest, I still haven't quite worked out how Don Paolo entered Saint Mystère himself. And I don't think we're rid of him just yet. But it seems that after he made his way in, he tried to stay at Beatrice's inn. Oh, so that's the man who ran out on his bill. It makes sense that it was Don Paolo. So that Weasel did himself up to look like Inspector Chelmy, snuck into the manor and... Hold on, when did he kill Simon? We'll get to that in a moment. We must keep climbing. Come along. Climb up. What the frick are you doing here? Thank you, doggy. Ah, konnichiwa, amigos. I'm so glad to see all the people. I thought I'd be wandering this place forever. Hey, how did you get in here? There's no way you solved all those puzzles. Je ne sais pas. It just happened. Un momento. I'm wandering the sewers. The next thing I know, I'm here. I take it that this isn't the local hotspot my guidebook promised it would be. How curious. So where is it you'd like to go? If you go down these stairs, you can return to the village. Just make sure you don't fall into the large hole by the entrance. Ah, Xisi. That should be enough information to get me there. But may I ask one more favor? All this talk of stairs has reminded me of an Azo I know. Answer it for me, por favor. On the stairs. Jim, Mike, Steve and Tom are standing on the stairs. You know the following about them. Jim and Tom are not next to each other. Steve and Mike are one step apart and Tom is on a higher step than Steve. So which of A, B, C and D is Jim? Jim and Tom are not next to each other. Okay, so they can't be A, B, B, C or C, D. Steve and Mike, the other two dudes, are one step apart, which makes sense for Jim and Tom not to stand next to each other. Tom is on a higher step than Steve. Then I would say that Tom is here, Steve is here, for example, Mike is here. Yeah, or these are turned around.
There we go. Critical thinking is the key to success.
That's right, Jim is D. Steve and Mike are next to each other and Tom is about Steve. Since you know Jim is not next to Tom, he must be on the lowest step, so he is D. Sure, fine, I'm cool with it. Great, grazie. Now I'm ready to go back to the village. What a strange fellow. Professor, do you suppose that man is human? I believe so. He's the odd one though, isn't he? I've never seen an explorer with such a poor sense of direction. Stranger still is how he entered Saint-Mystère. I don't think even he knows how he did it. Perhaps his presence yesterday was another reason why Bruno felt compelled to hide the crank. Perhaps? Thank you. Another puzzle. It seems that we're faced with another puzzle, Luke? Oh, I meant to ask you, but a run-in with that explorer distracted me. How did Simon... You know. All in good time, my boy. First we need to solve this puzzle here. It looks to be quite a challenge. Is it another... Maiden's escape? Yeah, there we go. This maiden has been captured by a wicked wizard and is trying to escape his castle. Armed guards, however, are blocking her path. Slide the blocks out of the way to move the red one out of the exit to the right. Her freedom depends on you. Can you do it? No. I'm sorry, princess.
Luke, here's my
Holy fucking doodle day. But we did it.
puzzle solved.
Wonderful. This is a classic example of a slide puzzle. There we are. The door should be open now. Amazing as always, Professor. Now, about Simon. What exactly happened at the manor? Did Don Paolo really do away with Simon? I'd say so. This is just my theory, mind you, but I think that Don Paolo followed us into the manor. That's when he met Simon or came across him, as the case may be. As I suspect, Simon had already collapsed when Don Paolo found his body sprawled on the floor. Just like with Ramon. So maybe Simon had also stopped functioning properly, huh? I guess all the robots break down sooner or later, and when they do, Bruno comes to collect them. Then he fixes them here in the cellar of the tower. Oh, do you suppose the noises from the tower are actually the sounds of Bruno's machines working? I think you're spot on, Luke. That must be why people began to associate the disappearances with the roaring from the tower. Don't forget that, despite his peculiar appearance, Don Paolo is a scientific genius. Therefore, he probably realized why Simon had stopped moving. If it weren't for the golden apple, Don Paolo likely would have left Saint-Mystère right then. I'm sure he was eager to take the robot apart and learn how it worked. And that must be when he decided to disguise himself as Inspector Chelmy, right? That rat made up the whole murder story on the spot. But that's not the whole mystery. Come, Luke, we must keep moving. I'll explain the rest as we go. There are more still, but we just got the explanation, so it doesn't really make sense to keep reading them. He is a He is very clever, that man. Oh no. What the frick are you doing here? Thank you, doggy. This is almost like a stage. What the frick are you doing here, Martha?
Yeah, fancy meeting you here, dearie. How'd you like to try a little puzzle I made up? How on earth did she get up here?
She must have overtaken us at some point. Funny, I didn't even see the old girl pass us.
Yeah, quit whispering amongst yourselves and try my puzzle already. It's a humdinger.
Of course, Martha. You've placed 1 joker and 4 aces with different suits face down on the table. Use the hints below to determine the position for each card. Oh no, the club is to the immediate right of the heart, neither the diamond nor the joker is next to the spade. Neither the joker nor the diamond is next to the club, neither the diamond nor the spade is next to the heart. Okay, let's put it down like this. Neither the diamond nor the joker is next to the spade. Okay. Neither the joker nor the diamond is next to the club. Yeah. And neither the diamond nor the spade is next to the heart. I'm just realizing that I don't know what a spade or a club is. So then like this.
Luke, here's my answer. Critical thinking is the key to success.
It worked. Excellent. Only a strong grasp of the principles of logic can get you through, or just put things down and listen to the rules.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's the answer, alright. Well then, I guess you'll be off. Come visit me sometime. Yeah.
I guess she followed us in here. She's a bit creepy. Oh. This is high up. My fear of heights could never. How are we doing charm-wise? Only 2 more left. Just like I thought, there's another puzzle locking this door. It looks really difficult, Professor. Look, my boy, haven't you learned by now? No puzzle is without an answer. Now we simply need to find that answer. Try your best. 70. Use each of the numbers 1 to 9 exactly once to fill in the blanks and complete this equation. 5 numbers minus 4 numbers is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Excuse you, sir.
There we go.
Holy dharma, dudes. That's right, there are 2 correct configurations possible. Did you manage to work out both? No, but we got one, that's all we needed. Creativity and persistence. Look, as long as you have these, no puzzle is beyond you. Professor, I was just thinking. Do you remember that picture we found in Lady Dahlia's room? The one of the Baron's former wife, Viola, holding a child who appears to be the young Flora? Of course. That's the one. It's uncanny how much Lady Viola looked like Lady Dahlia. Do you suppose Baron Reinald's diary entries were talking about Lady Dahlia? Sharp thinking, my boy. I believe it went something like this. The craftsmanship of it simply is remarkable. It reminds me of my sweet Viola when she was alive. That's the one that tipped me off. Professor, do you suppose Lady Dahlia is actually a robot built to resemble Lady Viola? That's entirely possible, maybe even probable, given the circumstances. But if so, what a terribly sad story these entries tell. Do you remember what the next entry said? Flora doesn't like the thing at all. I've seen her run away from it on multiple occasions. Recently, she spends more time playing by dear Viola's grave than anywhere else. I'm sad to say, but I doubt Flora will ever take to it. I can't blame her, as I've changed its personality. I felt terrible forcing her change on Flora, but I just couldn't bear to see it like that anymore. Viola, there can never be another you. You were my first, my last, and my only. The Baron agreed to the construction of a robot for Flora that was identical to his latest wife. But living with a machine that was so similar to his wife must have been too much for him. Thus, he decided to change the robot's personality, and so Lady Dahlia was created. As she was originally created as a mother figure, she must have gone through a confusing transition. Professor, do you suppose these robots feel sadness? Honestly, I'm not quite sure, but I have a feeling that each of these robots has something not unlike a human heart. What do you think? I hope that they do. Do you? Only 2 mysteries left. Okay, we're not quite done yet. This is an elaborate building. Do you suppose we're near the top yet? Yes, but it seems that we have another puzzle in the way before we get there. Your task is to draw these lines between the pins on this board to form 7 squares. The 7 squares do not have to be uniform in size, but you can only use each pin once. Give it a shot. Draw lines between the pins on this board to form 7 squares. The 7 squares do not have to be uniform in size, but you can only use each pin once. It's nice that they're giving us different colors. There we go.
There we go. Another puzzle solved.
That's right, tracking down all those tilted squares was quite fun, wasn't it? Now we're free to keep climbing. You know, it's very odd how this tower is simply huge, and yet there's almost nothing inside it. Yes, quite. Other than Bruno's room in the cellar, the whole place is rather bare. Perhaps that is why Bruno's machines make such a racket. This tower is like a giant megaphone. But why would anyone want to construct such a big, purposeless tower, Professor? It's exhausting to climb this thing. Ha! Did you ever consider that this tower might have been built for the express purpose of exhausting us? This is just another one of the many trials that have been set out for the seekers of the Golden Apple. Gosh, that makes perfect sense. Maybe that's also why the tower looks so scary on the outside. You've completed every puzzle in the game. Really? Well, this was the game. No, just kidding. But we've completed everything. This floor doesn't appear to have any puzzles for us. So if we climb the spiral staircases, maybe we'll reach the top floor? I think you may be right, my boy. Come, let's hurry. Only one more charm. Oh my gosh! It's almost like a normal home. Our view was obscured from the ground, but who would have suspected a charming cottage like this here? Look, the lights are on, Professor. It would appear that someone is living here. That was chapter 9. I'm not going to wake you wait till tomorrow. Let's see this adventure through today. because I really want to know what was going on again too. But that must have mean that we got all the charms now, right? Yes, we got all of them. Okay, are you ready? There we go. You've reached the top of the tower. Continue into the house or return to the village to explore more. We're going to continue. What kind of person would live in a place like this? Whoa. Unbelievable. Just look at this room. The stuff in here has to be worth a fortune. This must be the top floor that Bruno spoke of. So we might be standing in the same room as the golden apple at this very moment? I've been waiting for you two. Hello.
It's you! What's this? What's going on here?
My boy, what you see here is the golden apple herself.
You're the golden apple? Professor, you knew about this? I had an inkling. Don't you see the genius of it though? The Baron didn't write a will to find a successor to his fortune. His true aim was to find a worthy guardian for his daughter. Jeez, this is an elaborate scream. And he was willing to put his whole fortune on the line to do so. Yes. My name is Flora. I've been waiting here in the tower for so long. Were you locked up in here the whole time? No, we saw her downstairs, Luke, come on. Oh no, but before Papa passed, he told me that I should wait here until someone from outside Saint Mystere came for me. Papa said that whoever came for me would be someone I could trust with my life. So that's why he kept watching us move around the village. What was that? Who do you think?
What's going on? Oh! Here I come!
Do you even know what the golden apple is, dude? Like, I don't think you want to be a babysitter now, do you?
No. Ready or not?
Not. How do you think that that's the most effective way to find a small golden apple? Follow me. We must evacuate this tower immediately. What now? A hidden entrance somewhere? Maybe, perhaps, hopefully. I mean, the muscles on your legs must be fire by now.
Luke, go ahead without us. I have an idea. We're fine. Go on.
Alright!
It's all right, dear. This way.
That's when she fell in love with older men. What are we going to do? I've got it. Just wait a moment, Flora. He has to have built some secret entrances or something, right? What are we doing now? Layton, this was not my idea. Maybe this is why I started building things. I can blame him for it. Oh yeah, that's not fragile at all.
Layton,
Yeah?
smash you right out of the sky.
How about no? That's unfortunate.
No.
Oh, that's Simon's
Isn't
body.
over yet, Layton. Just you wait.
You-
One day I will have my revenge on you.
You just threw Simon down, didn't you?
Hold
Poor
tight.
Simon. Suffer broken bones later. She really has a thing for older men now. You won't change my mind. That was dramatic. Oh dear indeed. Ah. Thank goodness you're alright, Professor. Don Paolo's flying contraption was something else. I really thought we were done for back there. Yes, it was a bit unnerving. That's an understatement, my dude. You almost died. But he also provided us with the answer to one of our ongoing mysteries. Do you remember that awful noise we heard the first time we visited Reynold Manor? The one that spooked Claudia. Oh, so that must have been the noise. You've put it together. The record was likely Don Paolo's contraption making a crash landing. If that's the case, then we now know the approximate time of Don Paolo's entrance into Saint Mystère. That makes perfect sense, so it follows that Franco wouldn't have noticed Don Paolo's entrance. So if Flora is the golden apple that everyone's been looking for, that means the treasure that Lady Dahlia and the others were chasing never existed in the first place. No, I'm fairly certain they weren't mistaken. I do believe a fortune is hidden somewhere within the village. But the Baron would need to hide it somewhere only the golden apple would know to look. You mean that Flora knows where the treasure is hidden? I'm sorry, but I don't know about the treasure or anything like that. Let's head back to Reynold Manor one more time. I suspect we'll clear everything up there. Do we? That mystery is still not solved. Professor, do you really think the treasure could be located here? Look closely at this painting, look. I'm sure it holds the key to the Reynold fortune. But I've already looked at it. If we solve this mystery, look, I'm certain we'll come face to face with the Reynold treasure. Touch the painting where the golden apple is hidden. I remember now, it's right here. Aha! A hidden switch. There we go. The switch seems to have activated the wall. Ba-ba-bum. And to think that Reynold Manor held a secret behind this painting all along. It looks like there's a passage that leads further in. Oh. Let's see where this passage goes. We're treasure hunters after all. Whoa! Oh my goodness, look at this place. I had no idea. Now, how in the world did you know that the switch was hidden in the painting? Listen closely, look. Wisdom wasn't the only thing Baron Reinhold required of potential guardians for his only daughter. You saw it too, did you not? That peculiar mark on her neck that only appeared once she left. In other words, Baron Reinhold set out one last requirement for the potential inheritor to his fortune. He wanted someone who could make Flora smile again after losing those dear to her. My heart, people. To that person and that person alone would Baron Reinhold reveal the location of his actual fortune. It's unbelievable, Professor, but it all makes sense now. Flora, my little Flora. Where's that voice coming from? Flora, you've made it here at last. That voice. Papa, is that you? Papa! My dear Flora, has the village watched over you as I would have? I built St. Mystere for you so that you would never have to know true loneliness. Well, to be fair, Bruno did the actual building, but that's beside the point. In any case, if you've come this far, I suppose it's safe to assume my plan was a success. My greatest regret is that I'm not there to see you become a young woman. But please know that I want nothing more than for you to be happy. Whether the person by your side right now can give you that or not is up to you, I suppose. And to you who have found your way to my daughter's side, you have my heartiest congratulations. Few could make it through the barrage of puzzles set before you. I imagine a person of your abilities has already caught on, but allow me to reveal St. Mystere's secret. The secret of St. Mystere? Recently, I was told by my physician that I don't have much time left on this earth. I can come to terms with dying, but the thought of leaving my only child alone in the world torments me. This is why I've commissioned Bruno to construct St. Mystere. At least this way she'll be safe and protected until she's old enough to venture into the outside world. Streets and buildings are the bones of a village, but its heart is the people who live in it. This is why I asked Bruno to create all the villages here, as well as all the puzzles hidden within them. I've asked Matthew to make news of my death public only once Flora has grown past childhood. So, stranger, how does my beautiful little flower look now? I imagine she's blossoming into adult. It's becoming a bit creepy. Equally important to me is finding someone to whom I can entrust both my daughter and my fortune. This is why the inhabitants of St. Mystere are constantly testing the knowledge of the visitor. If you've made it this far, it must mean that you possess both wisdom and dedication to my daughter. I am confident that you will take good care of my fortune and Flora. This is why everything in this room, the whole of my fortune, belongs to you now. When you remove it from here, St. Mystere will complete the objective for which it was created. I imagine that inhabitants will fall into a deep sleep from which they are never to awake. That's sad. Now wait just a minute. Is he saying that if we take the treasure, all of St. Mystere will just disappear? I honestly don't know the answer to that question, Luke. But it's possible that St. Mystere is designed to shut down the instant we lay a hand on the treasure. So if that happens, everyone will just stop? Just like puppets with their strings cut? I leave it to you, brave traveler. Draw the curtain on St. Mystere and lay this lifeless village to rest. Above all else, take care of my precious daughter. She's in your hands now. Oh, Papa. I can't believe it. If we even touch this treasure, all of St. Mystere will just grind to a halt. Flora, by right, this inheritance belongs to you. You should be the one to decide what's done with it. I don't want it. But why ever not, my dear? The people who live here have been with me for so long. Curious as this village is, it's watched me grow up. I want St. Mystere, my village, to stay just as it is, forever. I see. Then so shall it be. But what of you, Flora? Will you stay here with your village? Yeah, what are you going to do? Are you sure this is quite alright, my lady? Certainly. If leaving will make Flora happy, I'd like nothing more than to see her off with a smile. That's a very grown-up decision. Look at them, little cuties. It's so not, well, that he left the choice up to her of what she wanted.
Goodbye then, little village.
I can't even imagine leaving so much behind. even if they weren't real people.
Cool. What an astonishing village that was, Professor. Does this mean you'll be gracing the front pages of the London papers again sometime soon?
No, Luke. St. Mastel's secret must stay between us.
Huh? Why do you say that?
You see, my dear boy, we don't want people to make a spectacle of Flora. That wouldn't be right.
Of course. Always thinking of others.
And they might shut everyone down.
Well, one must always put a lady's needs first. That's what a gentleman does.
Maybe make her wear a seatbelt too. This game has so much impact on me as a child. It was amazing, and it still is. It still holds up even after all these years. The story, it is beautiful. The music is fantastic. The puzzles, especially in this one, do recur more often. Like they repeat a couple of times, which is fine. But I can't wait to show you the other games. They're all so good. I will let the credits roll to thank these beautiful people for making this game. This is not the last episode in our series, or in this playthrough. We are also going through the Layton's challenges, and we are going to do the daily challenges. There are only 20 or 30, I believe. So there are going to be 2 more episodes, and then this series will be really over. But this was the story for now, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I will see you in the next game. From the top of my head, that's either going to be The Last Spectre, or another game of which I did forget the name. But I do know the storylines for them both, and I really can't wait to show you. But I hope to see you then. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.
So this is where you and Professor Layton live.
Welcome to London.
I love this. When I first arrived in London, everything was new and exciting. I'm having such a wonderful time, and it's all thanks to the Professor and Luke. Sometimes I feel like I might end up in danger when I'm with them, but anyway, I'm happy. If you're up there somewhere, Papa, thank you. And don't worry about me. I'm going to be just fine.
You sound like an old lady in this part. To be continued. And I was wrong, by the way. It's not the Last Spectre. That is the prequel trilogy. After this comes the Diabolical Box. And then we have the Unbound Future. And let me tell you, you're not ready for that one. Well, you've reached the story's end. Professor Layton and the Curious Village is far from over. How many puzzles did you solve over the course of your adventure? Precisely 120 puzzles are hidden throughout the village, so why not try to complete every... We've already done that. Yes, we are going to do the bonuses, and our game will save now. Everything is solved.